Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a special episode of Coffee with Friends with our dear and wonderful guest, Sarah. We wanted to come on and kind of say Happy Mother's Day to everybody, especially the ones who may be motherless. And if you don't have a mother, Happy Mother's Day. We appreciate you being here, or if you have a complicated relationship with your mother, either way, know that you're worthy of love and kindness in life. And with that, hi Sarah, how you doing?
Hello, happy Mother's Day, everyone. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Well, I'm just, drinking coffee. What else is new? That's
Not
pretty
a whole
much it.
lot. And that's one thing that is I appreciate about this life. I think we're just gonna go on with no agenda. Just tell everybody Happy Mother's Day, and we're just gonna talk. So come hang out with us, chat with us, and we'll take it from there, I guess, and see where it goes.
Yeah. Aren't you like a dog mom and a cat mom anyways?
I am.
Yeah? Tell me
Yeah.
about your dog.
You know. Oh gosh, why are you gonna bring up the darn dog? The dog.
The dog is so cute.
He is. He's very cute, but he's also like a little pain in the butt. And I don't know. He's a little Pomeranian. I've had him now. Tuesday will be 3 weeks. Still working on some of his habits, but for the most part, he's pretty good. He's doing really well with getting adjusted to everything. The cats are doing actually pretty good with him, which the first couple days it was a little bit tough because the little one always likes to hiss and growl at him and stuff. She doesn't like him so well, but she's getting around. She's coming around now, so it's getting better.
Well, I mean, cats are very much like get out of my space.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, people. Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want
Well,
to.
Nala, on the other hand, she's the oldest of the cats. She goes up and headbutts him and butts him and like takes her head and like butts him in the side and everything. Like she's all about him, but the little one, she's a little bit different. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm glad you got a little puppy, and I hope that you enjoy your little puppy and your cats. Because
So
cats
far,
can
it's
be
been
ESAs too. Like, really, they can.
yeah. So far, it's been pretty good. I mean, I can't complain too much about anything. I mean, I can, but it's not going to help nothing. But yeah, and I'm excited. I'm going to be getting some baby chicks in a couple of
Baby
weeks.
chicks.
Yeah, about a week and a half. I'm going to have some baby chicks running around. I'm going to be taking care of those and want to do a garden this year. And I don't know, just different things like that. So I'm kind of excited what summer's going to bring.
That sounds like really, really amazing. Like you're gonna have eggs, maybe.
Maybe. I'm hoping more for like meat chickens. So that's where I'm going with that.
I want eggs. I'm all about the eggs. Like yeah. So what you're
Eggs are
saying
great.
is you're gonna make
Eggs are
fried
great and all, but I have learned last night you can make chocolate chip cookies without eggs.
which we should all know if like you grew up in like the type of culture we did, like you should all know that you can substitute for eggs in your baking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So apparently you can substitute applesauce for eggs. It was quite interesting. I decided I didn't have any eggs and I was like, what else could I use? And so good old Google, So I Googled it and they said for pancakes you could use applesauce. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try it for cookies, and it worked perfect. So.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Hey, Doom. I don't know what the northern
hello.
aggressor is. But hey, welcome. I'm really curious about the northern aggressor. What does that mean? What do you think, Sarah?
I don't know. Hard telling.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Tell
Maybe
us a
they'll
little bit
tell us.
about yourself. Since we're
Yeah.
telling you about us, tell us about yourself. We'll wait for you. We'll keep chatting, but we'll get to your comment in a little bit.
Yeah, we want to know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome to tell us about themselves a little bit. We'll display your comments when we get to them. We'll keep chatting, and we love interaction. We love when people comment and tell us about themselves or talk to us. It gives us also the opportunity to respond to some of the questions you may have or anything like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
don't be strangers.
Your cup says dream big. I'm just wondering, was that Bishop approved?
Bishop approved.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume it's not because, see, it says it has writing on it, it has birds, and it has this, and it's not plain. This side is plain. That one might be, but this side is not. So it's probably not Bishop approved.
Oh, darn it. I guess some people might put you on like the prayer list, but hey, oh look, in the Civil War, the pro-slavery side called it the War of Northern Aggression. I never knew that.
Mm-mm.
Thank you. That's really
See,
interesting.
and that's okay. Now, speaking of that, I can tell you I didn't learn a whole lot at all in school about any of the wars and things like that. I don't remember a whole lot of any of that, which is actually sad in a way because there's not a whole lot in my school, in my community. There was not a whole lot of history. I think I may have had history maybe in third grade or something. Third and fourth maybe, and that's about it, I want to say, for history. We had geography. I can tell you every state. I can tell you every capital to every state, and things like that. But as far as Civil War history, things like that, I can say I didn't learn a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
What about
See,
your school?
we didn't learn a whole lot about it. Like, yeah. There's
Yeah.
just such a lack of like information that we get that it's like, a lot of times like we don't know like things that other people may have learned who went to like, for example, public school. Like, yeah.
Right,
But
right.
we're out here now. I know that I took like some civics and like, God, it would have been like in like 2006. I would have taken like a civics class in it, and I learned more there than what I did in our Amish school for sure. But it was like a high school level course that I had to go take, so that was helpful for me to learn a little bit more about the war between the states.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So should we tell them like how we met, our background, that type of stuff, or what
Do
do you
you
think?
want to tell them?
Sure. I'm up for any kind of anything. Like I
I
said,
mean,
today we don't really have an agenda. We're just talking and hanging out and drinking coffee and
well, here's
answering
the
questions.
fun fact. My stepbrother lived in Sarah's community
That
when
is
we were
true.
when we were both Amish. My stepbrother lived in Sarah's community, so that has something to do with like how we know each other, right?
Yep.
Would have been like more than 20 years ago, huh?
For
When my stepniece got married.
yeah. Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
like 20 years ago, I would say. So yeah.
And it was so funny because like all these people, like they were like, "Oh, well, so my mom was a widow. What about your mom?"
My mom was a widow as well. She was actually pregnant with her ninth child when my dad passed away. Actually, his anniversary for his passing is actually coming up on the 24th of this month. No, the 25th of this month, actually. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do for that, or, what I'm going to do for that, because I don't know, that has become kind of a big deal to me. The more, I'm actually away from the community, and I realize that it's okay to celebrate their life and to process things differently than what I was taught. So that's going to be different. But so back to, yes, my mom was pregnant with her ninth child. After she had given birth to her ninth child, she got married to my stepdad. He had 11 and she had 9, and then they had 4 more after they were married. So
Total of how many kids?
24.
See, and there were 23 of us. It's
Yeah.
not a competition, guys. You don't need to have a competition to have 23 or 24 kids. My bad.
Mm-mm. No,
No.
I can tell you right now, anybody that grows up in a household that has that many kids, it's really not healthy. I'm going to tell you that right now. And if you can manage each kid individually and give them what they need, that's one thing. If you really have that many kids, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of kids, and that's totally fine. Just make sure you're giving each one individually what they need, and what they deserve. It's not the kid's fault that you had that many. Just make sure, you're taking care of them and giving them what they need. I know for myself personally, I can speak to my life. I did not get what I needed as a child growing up. I have had a lot of struggles, since then and from that, I believe. But I am very grateful I'm on my own. I'm very grateful at where I'm at today. I have made a lot of progress. It doesn't mean that a child can't be very successful after, but just make sure the child's needs are being met when you have that many kids, though.
And I would echo that, Sarah. I'm sorry you didn't get what you needed. Like, you deserve definitely to get what you needed as a child, and so did all of your siblings, and so did all of my siblings and myself.
Right.
Like, we
Yep.
all deserve to have what we needed as children.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy when you start talking about like having that many children. And see, mine was a little different because my step siblings were not in the home.
Okay.
But because my egg donor, she also remarried. And another thing that I wanted to share too is that on May 2nd was the 32nd anniversary, I believe, of my biological father's death, and he was buried 32 years ago yesterday.
I'm so sorry.
Like,
32 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a real long time. My dad on the 24th or 25th will be 32 years.
Yeah.
That's how long yours has been gone? That's
Yes.
the same year. Was that the same year as my dad passed away? Because I was
1989.
I don't want to say how old I was, because then people will
Right.
like.
Right. But it was in 1989.
Mine was
Wait.
1980.
I lied. It was 33 years ago because, yeah, it was 33
Okay, yours
years
was
ago.
1 year. Yeah, yours would have been a year before mine then.
And then, like, eerily similar, like, my own egg donor was pregnant with her 9th child that lived when he passed away. And
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many similarities. That's just crazy.
It's
I didn't know that, honestly. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that there was that many similarities to a lot of things. That's just crazy.
Yep. And then in 1996, she got remarried to a widower. So that's how we ended up with the 23 siblings.
Mm-hmm. And in the Amish too, just so you guys know, like, we're talking about getting remarried and things like that. Unless a partner passes away, the Amish don't believe in like allowing someone else to get remarried. So if you are in the Amish and one partner decides to leave and get a divorce, it's less likely for someone to be able to get remarried in the Amish community because if their partner has left and decided to file for divorce or whatever. So most times if there is another step family to the picture, it's because of their partner has passed away or something like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yep,
I
I
would
made it
echo
out.
that. We made it out. Woo! Freedom being free though, but oh, hi Mary Jane.
Hey, Mary.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. We want to know about you. Or what do you want to hear from us? What questions do you have? Oh yeah. But no, like it can be really be depressing sometimes to think about some of those things. So like I'm really like thinking about things that like because last year we did a live together. Sarah and I did a live with somebody else. I think it was Misty Griffin, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
And we kind of touched on like church cleaning and the mental health of women, Amish women, right?
Yeah.
Um, I would really like to talk about like some of the things we do that bring us joy in life. Like what brings you joy in life?
What brings me joy in life? I think having great friends is a huge thing for me. Having supportive friends, people that believe in me, that brings me joy in life. Hanging out with people, and then just like me, I just bought my own home not too long ago, and I enjoy, doing yard work. I enjoy being outside. I enjoy, going for walks and things like that. Those are some of the things. Going to parks, scenery. I love scenery. Being outside. I think that's a huge thing for me. And that's something I enjoy in life, and I know it's real good for me, even anybody actually, to be outside, get some fresh air, and just mentally it helps, for me anyways, it helps me process things sometimes and just get out of the house and get things, get a different perspective and a view on the world sometimes.
Well, Sarah, you're cuckoo with that cuckoo clock, huh?
Mary, now you watch it. Be careful what you say.
Only the best people can pull it off to have that cuckoo clock, okay? Because cuckoo clocks are amazing. Did you know that in some communities those are actually outlawed?
Oh, really? Okay, so what brings you joy in life? Oh, and my animals, of course. I'm excited
Hmm.
too.
And,
Yeah.
and I have to ask our listeners too, like, what brings them joy in life? And
Yeah.
like for me, like it brings me a lot of joy in life to spend time with my animals and with my child. I am a parent, and my child definitely brings me a lot of joy, and my loved ones. And I'm really grateful to have good friends. Like Sarah is one of my dear friends, and I love her deeply, and she's amazing. Just so
Well, thank
y'all
you.
know, Sarah's amazing. Okay,
Well, thank you.
like
So are
she's
you.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, like I love spending time in nature. I like going out in the mountains, and I like having new experiences sometimes when they're not scary new experiences that involve a lot of people, because sometimes a lot
Yep.
of people makes it really scary.
Yeah, that's one thing for me, and I think that's why you know, I like nature, because if you're outside, it's easy to not have a lot of people around you. You can always find a spot where there's not a whole lot of people. So I get you. I hear you on that.
Like, yeah. And then I do like creative things. I make a lot of paintings. You can see some of them on the wall behind me. I do sew things, and I have a really funny thing to report to all of you that my child actually informed me that the coverings in the article that was written, I showed them a picture of some of the outfits, and I was like, well, like these are some of the ways that were appropriate for us to dress. And my child informed me because I personally made myself a rainbow kopdu, right? And so I wear that, and my child informed me that those coverings are ugly and they don't have any flavor to them. They don't have any personality, and they're not cool. And
The
it made
one you
me
made?
laugh.
She's talking
No,
about the one you made?
no, they're talking about the ones from the display. From the display, the clothesline project.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So like authentic, like Amish coverings and head
Yeah.
coverings, like my child is
Yep.
like are awfully like they're not. There's no personality to them, and I'm like, well,
Gotcha.
at least my child can see that.
Yeah.
And they said, well,
Yeah,
go up in
they're
small.
all about the plane, and yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
this for sure wouldn't be a-okay.
I mean, that red, it almost matches my hair, and those roses and the painting behind me, and there's just, I don't know. Are you sure you're feeling okay, Sarah?
No. I'm never sure about that.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
hey.
just like Mary said, cuckoo with the cuckoo clock.
Yep.
So I'm never sure I'm okay.
Here's one of our listeners saying helping other people brings them joy. That's beautiful. And one of my others.
I'm on my way to try to beat the Amish to the
Moral mushrooms. Alrighty then. Well then. Okay, look. Like I remember going out and gathering a 13-quart stainless steel bowl full of morel mushrooms and then cooking them. I just gotta say, you best get on it. And I don't think you're gathering morals if you're listening to us, so I'm really confused.
Hey, maybe he'll meet some Amish along the way, and then he can have them watch this with us, like, or with him, like while he's, gathering that, and we'd be happy to speak with them.
We'd be
Bring
very
them on.
happy to speak with them. Yep. We'd be
Yeah.
so happy to speak with them. Maybe he can. That would be interesting.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
always open to speaking to any Amish. I mean, they want to say hi, I'll say hi back. I'll still,
you don't discriminate. You say hi.
Nope, don't discriminate. That's not who I am.
No, I've spoken with quite a few Amish people since like the last time we did a live, and that's been really interesting. Let's just put it that way.
Really?
But I'm really grateful to have had those experiences because it means a lot to know that some people feel like they can have a voice through organizations or other people that can help them have better things in life and have a better just way of like navigating life.
Yeah. I'm on
the dirt road. I didn't know there's cell phone service out there.
If you're saying you're on the dirt road, what dirt road? In the community I grew up, there was a dirt road. So I need to know what community, what dirt road are you in?
Yeah, like, well, but there's a lot of dirt roads, so, I mean, you could.
But I kind of would like to know the community, the area. I'm curious. I mean, I guess you don't have to tell me.
Why you gotta be nosy? Like, this is like so Amish of us to be so nosy. I really want to know too, but it's really none of our business.
It really isn't none of our business, but I'm just curious, now you got us all curious. You gotta, I hate when people start a conversation and don't finish it, so.
Yeah, I just want to know.
I feel like that's a conversation you started and you got to finish it now.
Finish it. Tell us all about it. Like, I need to know what kind of Amish they are. How close are you to the Amish? Do you have,
that I don't care about. That,
oh, no, I want to know all of it. We're not nosy people by any means. We're showing.
Hey, I got a question.
I got an answer.
Are you sure you do? Are you ready for this one? Are you sure about this? This is going to be a deep one.
Hold on. Let me. Okay.
All right. Are we ready?
What? Yes.
Take a sip of coffee.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, what is discrimination? When we discriminate against somebody. You made a comment earlier that I wasn't discriminating, but I'm just curious, if someone says we are to forget and forgive, is that like, if somebody doesn't, are you going to discriminate against them? Are you going to tell them that, or is that discrimination if you tell somebody that they have to forget and forgive and then somebody doesn't want to? Or I don't know. I'm just going
Well,
out on a
how
limb
do they
here.
treat them afterwards? And like discrimination comes in many, many forms, but it's typically, you know, recognized from my understanding on the basis of like, you know, age, race or sex or even gender identity or even sexual orientation, for example.
So
People
pretty
can
much like,
have,
so pretty much it could be what somebody believes.
right. It could
Okay.
be. Why you gotta go all serious with me?
I'm sorry, like I just thought of it because the word discrimination came up and you go, you don't discriminate. And I was like, no, I don't discriminate. And so I'm all of a sudden I started thinking about all of this and I'm going, wait a minute.
Why are we going down
Like,
this rabbit hole of like
I
discrimination? Wait,
don't
did
know.
we learn about discrimination in Amish school?
No,
Did you?
no.
Oh, yeah.
If we did, I don't think there would have been as much, well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the word, but don't
Yeah.
wanna, you know,
Yeah.
say it on here, but um
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
like, so I think
We
that,
wouldn't have said some of the things. I mean, the sayings, some of the sayings we had,
like,
mm-mm, we wouldn't have said some of the stuff. Don't
well,
whip me, whip that behind the tree.
oh my God. Well, then, you know, let's go back to forgive and forget a little bit. So, like, the forgive and forget is a principle that is deeply adhered to by many Anabaptist communities. And when it comes to like certain types of abuse specifically, they tend to require the survivor of the abuse to go apologize to the abuser for enticing them to abuse them. It doesn't make any sense. But even so, like, so if you don't go apologize to your abuser and then they treat you differently, they treat you as lesser than, they don't include you in things, they don't invite you to events that you would normally be invited to, or they won't talk to you, or whatever else the situation could be. But if they treat you differently because you don't apologize to the abuser, is that considered discrimination? I'm asking you all because I want you all to answer that question.
I mean, I honestly don't think it's right to tell someone how to forget and forgive. I don't think it's right to tell somebody. This is just my personal opinion. I believe everybody has their own way of doing things. Everybody has a choice. Everybody can live their lives how they want. Is my personal opinion. And I don't think there's a right way to forgive. If you choose to forgive, there's, I don't think. Oh, Eastern Ohio. Okay, I don't know that area. I don't think there's a right way to. I don't think anybody will ever forget. I don't care. You can tell the people, especially survivors, people that have had traumatic events happen. You can tell them to forget, but that doesn't mean that you're right in telling someone that. In fact, I think it's harmful if you tell someone they need to forget the event, because everybody has their own personal things going on in their life that we don't know about. I don't know about, and so it's not my responsibility to tell someone how to live their life, pretty much telling them they have to forget and forgive. That's not my responsibility. That's not something I should do. Because if I tell somebody that, I may just be hurting them because they may seriously be struggling with this. And
And
then they go home and they leave, or they leave my area where I'm with them. They go and they leave, and what happens? They could possibly really start thinking about it, and it could cause them to shut down. It could cause them to do all kinds of stuff that isn't healthy. Why? Because I was the one that told them, you got to forget and forgive. You got to move on. That's not
oh my God, we just lost Sarah. Uh-oh. Maybe she'll come back. Probably. But going off of like what she was saying, I was at a conference this weekend where um, what somebody said is it's hard to forget when your body is a battleground or something like that. And to me, that feels like really, really true and valid for many survivors. And I think it affects them in a very meaningful way because it really is. It's really hard to
I'm
forget.
sorry. I'm
Welcome back.
sorry. I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, it just kicked me off, and I'm going, "Oh, okay, what
Oh,
happened?" Like, apparently, I was too preachy.
you were preaching, but I was like adding to it. I was telling people about this conference that I went to where like somebody made the comment it's hard to forget when your body is like the battleground.
Hmm.
That's another thing is like if you have scars all over your body like some of us do, every time you see the scars you can be reminded or even relive events that, and this isn't due to any fault of yours, like you did nothing wrong, but it
Right.
happens. And so, like, I would echo what Sarah said about how it can affect people and how careful we have to be to not tell people how to live their lives and how to navigate their own trauma. And we do
Right.
have some comments too, like this one. Forgiving to me is giving up the right to get even. That's fair. I want to
Hmm.
clap for that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mary. Thank
Yeah.
you. And no, I'm not clapping to myself. I'm clapping to a commenter.
No,
um,
and it's so true because we all have our own individual ways of forgiving. You know, like what the way I may forgive may not be the way that you forgive. The way that one of my other friends forgives is not the way that you and I, either one of us, forgive.
right. And even so, like I also have somebody that I love very dearly that practices a concept that this person calls unforgiving. And they're like, I am allowed to do that. And they are. That is
Hmm.
valid.
Yep. Yep.
One of our listeners wants to know, why would you apologize to your abuser? Because if your
That's
family and your church demands that of you, you do what you have to do to survive.
and that's the hard part, I feel like. And I have a hard time wrapping my head around now that I've been out of the community for so long. Um, is how they really use the victims and how they treat them and what they have them do, and how they actually what they expect of the victims. I mean, since I have gotten the help I have gotten, looking back, and they I have such a hard time wrapping my head around it now, because it's like, really, that stuff happens. They really do ask, like, the victims to apologize, or the victim blame and shame, um, for whatever reason, for however they do that. There's many forms that they do that in, whether it's not believing the victim and things like that. um, but why they have the victims go and apologize is beyond me. um, they think that maybe that's part of the forgiveness. I don't know, honestly. I can tell you, I really don't know why they do that. It's to me, I just don't get it. I looking back, I honestly can tell you, I have no idea how I survived. And that's one of the reasons probably why I'm not there no more, because I knew there was more to life than living in a controlled environment that they have there. And I'm not saying that this is all Amish are bad. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a lot of things happening there that is not good for a lot of the kids and a lot of the people there. The control is real. The control is real. No, anybody can try to deny it. That's fine. But you all know, if there's man-made rules, there has to be some form of control. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying all Amish are bad. I'm not saying that, because I'm sure there's going to be people coming after me and saying, "Oh, you hate the Amish," and things like that. Never said those words. Never said those words. I am just saying that there's a lot of things that are happening there, and the way they have the victims use the victims is not good. it's not right. It's, you know, and if they really, really want to help the victims, they should reach out to people that are professionals outside that have degrees on how to help the victim, not the people inside the community, you know, things like that. And that's another thing that they do is, you know, they do tend to try to take care of it on their own, but I don't believe that it's the correct way of doing it.
Well, and part of like why I mean, and as a survivor myself, like one of the things I can tell you is that reporting child sexual assault inside of Amish communities often results in you as the survivor. It used to, and it often still does, from my understanding and from people I've talked to. It results in the survivor being put on trial rather than the abuser put on trial. They believe this
Hmm.
whole like befriend the abuser, like that's going to prevent the abuser from raping a child. Like that's not how it works. Or like if it's physical abuse, again, like it's the abuse survivor is the one that's put on trial. That's what it feels like. And that's what I'm observing that's still happening. And it breaks my heart. It has to stop.
Yeah.
It
And the
has
other
to
thing with
stop.
a lot of that is what people don't understand is the language barrier. I'm clapping on the inside. Thank you, Mary. Um,
Yay.
what a lot of people don't understand, where was I going with this?
Is the language barrier?
Oh, the language barrier, yeah.
Yeah.
The language barrier is huge. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, when I left, it was probably about three years after I had left, people started questioning me about some of the stuff that happens in the Amish community. And they were like, "Oh, I hear there's incest." And I was like, "Incest? What do you mean? What does that mean?" So they explained it. And because I was embarrassed, I literally denied it. I was like, "No, no, there's no, that wouldn't happen." And then it's like after I started actually, it was 5 years then, I think, after I had left, or maybe closer to 7 years after I had left, between 5 and 7 in there, I started actually seeing a counselor and I started talking about some of the stuff. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, like, do you realize that we can't?" This was a school counselor, okay, actually, I had a college counselor. She goes, "Do you realize we shouldn't be talking about this because that means I would have to report it?" And I'm going, like, what do you mean? So she has become somebody that I trusted, but now you're telling me that I shouldn't be talking to you about this. So now what do I do? You know, so then I ended up having to, you know, find a different person. That's actually when I started reporting everything that happened in my home. And, you know, and then I realized like all the language barriers because they asked all these. Had I not actually gone and gone into the health field and become a CNA, I wouldn't have known half of the body parts that I was supposed to know, that I should have known growing up. Um, you know, and they started asking these questions because when they investigate, they do a deep, thorough questioning. And you feel like they're so repetitive, but they're very important questions, you know? And so I think people need to understand that language barrier is huge. Like just some simple words like incest and sex and things like that, you know, that's huge because the words out here, English words, don't mean what the Amish teach their kids, you know. And so it would be great if we can continue. If you, Mary, I think that you have had actually some literature out there that has some of that on there, don't you?
Yes, yes. There is
So it
there
would
are
be it would be great if you guys could, even if you guys want any brochures to help understand some of that, you know, things like that. Like Mary's got some of that stuff, and I don't know, I can't speak for her, but I'm sure if you would let her know that you're interested in some so you can pass it around, I'm sure she could get you some.
actually So most of the stuff is actually on a specific page called resources on the Misfit Amish's website. You can literally go and download and print those brochures and circulate them inside of Amish and Anabaptist and Plain communities, as well as your English community, because
Yep.
those brochures can actually help people who are in positions like the counselor that you were referring to, which yeah, that has to have been devastating. Thank you for sharing that. But they can help those people understand how to better relate to clients who have experienced trauma inside of that type of culture or community.
Sorry, that's my clock.
Is your clock telling you something?
I completely forgot. I have all these clocks around that make all these noises.
I mean, I mean, well, Sarah.
But yeah, I think it's very important. People that are counselors, investigators and things like that, especially if they're doing investigation into some of these communities that have language barrier issues. I think it's very important for them to contact or get a hold of those brochures, like you said, on your website and stuff, and try to figure out, how they can help in situations like this, so they can understand better what they're dealing with. Because I feel like sometimes they know maybe a little bit what they're dealing with, but I don't think they understand the whole extent sometimes with the language barrier, and that's important.
Well, I can't name names or give specific details, but I can tell you that I am fed up with the people who are so arrogant. They think that because they've sat there and grown up inside of, like, not even inside of, but around Amish and Plain communities, that they know what they're dealing with. And so they reject any efforts by the survivor or the survivor's support system to give them information that helps them to deal with this and know how to navigate it appropriately. They need to stop in their arrogance. They need to check themselves. And they need to understand that they do not know, just because you lived around an Amish or Plain community does not mean you know jack diddly squat about the community. You know,
Right.
again, I've said this for many, many years. You only know what they want you to see. That is the
Yeah.
only thing that you know. And
Well, and
when you
sorry.
do that, you are literally part of the problem,
And
because
the
you think you know and you don't know. I'm telling you,
and
you don't know.
and I'm gonna tell you, like in my community where things were happening in my home, there's actually people that knew outside of the Amish community and did nothing. And I can tell you that like Mary said, they let you see what they want you to see. They don't let you know everything that happens. And what people don't understand, well, the kids look so happy when they go into the stores or when they're out talking to you. What a lot of people don't realize, that's the only attention they may be getting that is healthy. They may not be getting healthy attention anywhere else. They may not be getting, and I'm not saying every family's like this. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you see somebody that's really kind of taking like interest in what you're saying, and how just because you gave them something as little as maybe $1 bill or something like that, and they're so excited about that, that's because it's like, oh my gosh, that's the world to them. They give their money to their parents until they're,
Yeah, 21.
21.
Yep.
So I mean, all of that stuff is huge to these kids. They, you know, you see them happy because of you're somebody new and somebody different in their life that all of a sudden is talking to them when, and I can tell you there's some people that I like, neighbors that wouldn't had a clue what was going on in our home because of me going and visiting them and saying hey and taking them maybe a loaf of bread or something like that. They wouldn't have had a clue what was going on in my home because I was just excited to go there and visit them. I was excited. I was, they
were
wouldn't have
kind to you. They
And they
were
wouldn't have
trying
suspected
to.
because I was so happy. I was a happy kid at that moment in time. It gave me an outlet, and they wouldn't have even known. They wouldn't have had a clue.
Hmm.
So there's yeah,
Yeah. And I will say this too is like it's really heartening to me to also hear from Amish people who choose to not treat their children the way that, society, their culture dictates them to do certain things, like, shun the survivor or stuff like that. Like they've chosen not to do that. And so again, when Sarah says we're not saying all Amish people are like that, we're rather saying that Amish people, and some of them commit crimes, and they should be held accountable the same as any other American person, especially the ones
right,
here in America.
right.
And we do also have a comment from somebody. I live with the Amish all around me, and I don't know jack about them. Yeah, I don't know shit about them. Most are very stoic and quiet. Do you know what stoic means? Did I pronounce
Standoffish,
that word right?
huh?
Did I pronounce that word right?
I don't know.
I think my Amish education is showing.
Doesn't it mean like either standoffish or to themselves, kind of?
Um,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's
What does it
more
mean?
like a like mask, like they're very not necessarily just standoffish, but very like they don't show much emotion. And I would
Right.
absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
There's a lot of Amish people that don't show much emotion, if they don't want to. Like, it's yeah, it's a facade often. But it's also important for people to recognize that, just because you live around the community doesn't mean that you know.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like that,
And
like,
I'm not saying go and cause trouble with them and try to find trouble or anything like that unless you're really truly somebody comes to you and they need help. Please
yeah,
um go ahead and do what you can to help the victims. If you do hear of something, say something. Don't be one of those people that hears something and doesn't do anything about it, like what happened in my household.
exactly.
Please do something, say something, get the victim safe, do what you need to do, through the law. Don't just sit back and not do anything, because that's very heartbreaking to hear those stories where you know that people haven't done anything. They know, but they don't do anything.
Right.
So
Well,
yes,
and somebody says, yes, that is correct. Thank you. We appreciate your help. Okay, and here's more further explanation about that word. Yeah, they keep to themselves and they don't show emotions.
that's
Thank
that's
you.
yeah, that's what I kind of figured that was
Yeah.
what that meant more so.
Man, why were we talking about all this stuff? We were supposed to have fun, Sarah, and
I
we're
know.
like,
We
what
said we were gonna
happened
not. We
here?
said we don't have an agenda. We're just coming on here just to chat and have a good time. But I don't know what happened. I don't know. The discrimination word just got me going. I don't know.
I don't know what happened
I'm
either because now
sorry.
I'm like, I'm sorry to our listeners. Like, this isn't what we planned for you.
Honestly, we didn't have anything planned. We were just like, oh,
We
let's
were
go
just like,
on
we're
here, let's
gonna
talk, and
have
that's
our coffee.
I just want to be real. That's all. I want to tell people who I mean, this is who I am. I don't, you know,
Yeah,
don't hide behind anything. Ask away, ask questions. I don't know. I'm me, and that's what you get. I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm not the type of person that likes to beat around the bush about anything.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I have an interesting idea. I think we should ask our listeners what they think about, like, if you are listening and you have English as a second language, from that type of background or whatever, what have you, would you weigh in on, like, how you feel about it? Is it a barrier? Could it be a barrier? I think
Having
that would
English
be
as a second
interesting.
language,
Yes, because the language barrier is real, and
right? It is. Yeah.
it is I think it's federal law that they're required to navigate that a specific way. But anyways, now that we asked them, we're gonna go back over to, like, let's talk about good things in life. So I woke up this morning and I had like this beautiful card from my child that like totally made me laugh because it's like I know a good mom when I see one, and I was like, "That's really interesting, child." And then they wrote like this special note inside of it that was just like really mushy. So like that's a thing. And then
That's so cool. That's so sweet.
but
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people think that like Mother's Day is all about like, the commercialism, like buying gifts and doing all these things. But in the same token, for me, I think it would be, and it is more meaningful when I just spend time with my kid.
Well, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to come on here and talk. I mean, that's taken away from your kid, and I appreciate it. I mean, you know, I don't really have anybody in my life right now too much other than I made a couple phone calls, but that's it. I don't have a whole lot of people in my life that, you know,
Hmm.
have that role in my life as a mother figure. And my own mom, I mean, I gonna be honest, didn't send a card, didn't even say nothing, no phone call, no nothing. That's just by my choice. It's not that, you know, I don't know. Mother's Day
Is
sometimes can
complicated.
be like another day to me, you know, and it sucks to say it that way, but it is what it is, you know. Um, yeah.
And we do what we have to do to survive. So, what are you doing the rest of today?
Well, almost like church cleaning.
Really, girl? You gotta go there? Church cleaning? Oh my God. Why would you
Ah,
do that? Why would you do that to
because I
yourself?
can. Because I
It makes
can.
my head hurt.
Because I can. That's why. No, I want to get things done around here. I have some stuff that I want to get done. I have some friends coming in a couple of weeks, so I want to make sure that I'm getting my house cleaned and everything, and I want to do a deep
Oh,
clean
yeah.
and stuff. And I
Oh,
don't know,
yeah. You gotta make sure that when they
I got to do my deep church cleaning. Now leave me alone. Hello.
Mushnik me, but mushnik me, but mm-mm.
Well,
And
actually, it's not church cleaning because you know why? I don't have church here at my house. If I would have church here, then maybe it should be considered church cleaning. So, no, I'm not going to do church cleaning. I'm just going to clean
okay.
the
Yeah,
house.
okay, okay. I'll give you that. And I think
Anybody
too,
on here saying anything about the language barrier yet?
I haven't seen anything.
Well, darn people. Talk to
Yep.
us.
Nope. I haven't seen anything. But it's okay because we, we've been talking for a while now. I just feel like, I want to go out to the mountains somewhere and just like, here's the thing about me. I want to take my camera. I want to go out to the mountains and I just want to be away from people because, like, sometimes people really hurt my feelings.
Well, and
And the
that's a
other
real
thing
thing.
is Mother's
That's a
Day is a
real thing.
really complicated day for me. Like, I enjoyed the time with my kid. I really do. I really, really do. But I have some really complicated feelings about Mother's Day as a whole. And yeah.
It can.
And
I mean, I appreciate all moms out there. I mad respect
right.
to all mothers out there that are taking care of their kids and giving them what they need and what they deserve. Um, I mean, I personally would love to be a mother. Not there yet. But it is what it is. But I have mad respect for those people that are out there and respecting their kids and giving them what they deserve and need and being there for them. So thank you all for doing
Yep.
that and doing a good job at what you guys do. Whoever's seeing this message, obviously this message for you. So thank you
Yep.
for being there. So
Yep.
yeah.
And I'm really glad that there are mothers out there that are not like, say, my own egg donor. I really am. It
Yeah.
always makes me feel so s- it always makes me feel so happy um, when I see people being um, good parents and loving their children in a way that
Mhm.
taking care of their children, giving their children what they need and teaching them better ways of doing things. It always makes me happy and it makes me feel like there's hope for the future. And so, hold on to hope, people. Hold on to hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
if you are a mother or you are somebody that, you know, has, you know, if Mother's Day is hard for you, I'm sorry, try to find, you know, do what you need to do. Let's put it that way. Just do what you need to do to get through the day.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how to get through the day. I'm sorry you're struggling, but just do what you need to do. Just know you're not alone. There's more people that struggle as well on Mother's Day, and so just do what you need to do to
Yep.
get through the day, and reach out. I guess reach out to whoever you want to. If you need to, do what you need to do to make it through the day. But just know you're not alone. That's the main thing. I think
Yeah.
we sometimes forget is we feel alone in this. We feel like we're trying to fight the battle ourselves, and someday maybe I don't know if Mary's open to this or not or whatever, but maybe someday I will maybe be talking a little bit more about my mental health and some of my struggles that I've had and things like that, and the feeling alone and feeling like there's no one there for
Mhm.
you. And I think when we speak up about certain stuff, I think then we start realizing we're not alone in this, and that there's actually others that struggle with the same things. And we can just all keep trying to let others know you're not alone. And I think that's important thing is to be kind and be gentle to others and yourself, and just know you're not alone. So yeah.
Right. Right. And I'm absolutely open to you talking more about mental health and struggles and all of that. Uh, that could be really interesting. It could be really good because you're right about people feeling alone, and you're not alone. I want all of you to know, like, if you don't have a mother, if you're motherless, if you're whatever, if you have a hard time with this day, you're not alone. You
Right.
are so not alone. There are so many people who struggle with this day, and whatever you need to do to survive, even if that means not talking to anybody all day, please survive. You deserve to have a life, and you deserve to be
Hmm.
treated with love and respect. And, if you need to, you can always reach out to the National Suicide Hotline. And I don't know what
if
that number
you
is, but
if
I'll,
Yeah, and if you're in the US, there's also 211 you can call. They can connect you to somebody to talk to. I don't know the 800 number. I know there's an 800 suicide number as well. There's also um, loving
yeah,
yourself through it. Yeah.
yeah,
I know there's a many 800 numbers. You can Google them too. I just know the 211. Oh, and there's also a text if you need to text somebody in the United States. There's a 741-741. You can text them and they can respond. It sometimes takes a while, but they also respond to that.
yeah.
Um, so yeah.
It's a call 211 or text 741-741, right?
Yep. And like I said, I don't know the actual 800 number suicide hotline, or like there's multiple ones. There's I think an abuse one, there's a suicide
Yeah.
one, there's different ones. So
If you need somebody to talk to that will be helpful for you, please reach out to somebody to talk to.
mhm,
Thank you.
yep,
And again, y'all are human beings that are worthy of living
yep.
fulfilling lives. And I can't wait to see y'all back here, especially sounds like we might be doing another live stream, right, Sarah? This is going to be fun.
Maybe, I don't
Just
know. I one thing I want people to remember is that when I come on here, I'm not coming on here to blame anyone, to shame anyone. I'm just coming on to talk and tell my story, and my side of the view, like how I view things, how I see things. And so please be kind to me as well. Be kind in the comments. Don't come, saying, well, you don't know this, or you don't like that. You're speaking bad of somebody like this, because you're still in the Amish community or whatever. That's not my intentions ever. My intentions is just to make people aware, and so we can continue to help victims that truly want help and need help. And
mhm.
so please be kind.
Thank you. I would
Yeah.
agree, people. Please be kind to Sarah. And
Be kind to Mary too. Not just to me. Right.
Well.
So yeah,
If we
so
start talking about that, we're going to have a whole nother hour, and I'm about to end this live stream. And I don't, yeah. So as my coffee's gone, I'm going to need more coffee. So I don't know about y'all, but yeah. Have a beautiful, blessed Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.